Hi, Paul here. I'm going to show you the Power BI Solution Advisor. This is actually a Power BI project that we created to recommend the right components and the solution architecture for a Power BI project. Now, there are a lot of different ways that you can use Power BI along with other related tools and technologies like Direct Query, the Power BI service, analysis services on-prem or Azure analysis services, Power BI cached mode, streaming, embedding. Because there's so many different options, it can be a little overwhelming and perhaps confusing. So the Power BI Solution Advisor is essentially a series of questions that gather your requirements, understand your constraints, and then recommends the components for a Power BI solution based on that criteria. So let me show you where you can access this. It's publicly available. I've published this from my tenant up to the cloud. If you go to my blog, which is at sqlserverbi.blog, and look for the post called 9 Realms of Power BI and the Power BI Solution Advisor, which I posted on February 23rd, 2018. You'll see all of the images from slides in my presentation here. And if you'll scroll down to the image of the Power BI Solution Advisor titled Introducing the Power BI Solution Advisor, click on that, and that will actually take you to the Power BI project. So this is the Power BI application, which is publicly embedded so that you can actually use it online. You'll see that the first page of the report is a set of instructions and screenshots that just explains how it works. And if you move to the second page, this is actually 3 different views that are presented using bookmarks. And I'll do a later post to show how I created this project, along with a little help from my friends. And you'll see that there are 3 pages here with 8 different categories of questions and requirements. So the first one is data infrastructure. And as you choose an option from each of these categories, so for example, let's say that cloud data storage is allowed for our solution, you'll see that down at the bottom it actually chooses a response to the data infrastructure item. And if you go to data source type, we'll choose users need to combine multiple data sources. So that suggests that those are ad hoc users that are using Power BI for self-service data mashups, and on and on. So let's say that we expect our solution to have data that's under 1 gigabyte compressed. Click the next button and move to the second view, or a virtual page with our bookmarks. We'll say that we're going to share with other licensed Power BI users. Under developer experience, I'm going to say that our developers have intermediate experience with DAX and data modeling. And we expect that a user who has permission to a shared report should be able to see all of the data rather than using row-level security or more restrictive security. Moving on to the last page, we'll say that we do need more than basic aggregations, let's say complex calculation logic, but we don't need to use R script to do correlation and predictions and that kind of thing. And we also do want to make use of dashboards and mobile apps in our solution. So we'll go ahead and click that option. So when you go to the next page, you'll see that that narrows down the recommendations for a solution architecture to 1 out of 9 different options. And that's a cached data model deployed to the Power BI service. And you see that when you hover over this item, you can right click and there's a drill through option. If you choose architectural components, that will drill you through to the next page that shows all of the components that might be related to that architectural choice. You'll see each of the components is listed here. We've estimated the complexity of each of those items. Now these are rough numbers just to give you an order of magnitude, but you can see that if all of these components were used, we would estimate that the complexity of the solution might be up in this range here. For example, we could use fairly complex DAX logic. If I click on one of those items, you can see that there are help topics and related learning links over to the right side. And any item that you select is going to build this list, and then you can see a number of of related topics. Now, I actually built this by importing links to all of the available help pages on the Power BI site. There are about 550 different help topics. There will also be learning links from people in the community, available training and other resources as I expand this into the future. And you can see that if I were to choose one of the help topics here, like how to embed your content, click on the link, that actually takes you to that learning resource, or in this case, this help page. Now, if we return to the earlier page, there's a reset icon right here, which will take you back to a view of the bookmark page that has everything cleared. So you can now make different selections and then drill through and see what your choices will be. Just to show you, if we didn't select anything at all, that's going to show you all of the 9 different options. This is what I call the 9 realms, or the 9 categoric different ways that Power BI can be used. And if you just want to explore those, then you can right click here and you can drill through and you can see those options as well. So I hope that this is a useful tool for you. Please provide feedback using comments on my blog, and happy reporting.